All right, we are live. I want to welcome you to the Do Work Podcast. The Do Work Podcast, we have one mission and one mission only. It is simply to focus on our goals, eliminate our excuses, and do the work. And my guest tonight is my good friend, Mike Watts. I'm not going to introduce him because if I do, it's going to take 20 hours and we don't have that much time. Because I just think he's an amazing human, an amazing entrepreneur. He's very innovative, which, I'm blessed to have him in my life and call him a friend. So, Mike, I'm going to let you introduce yourself to the people and tell them who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you so much, Diva. And the feeling's definitely mutual. I mean, you're one of a kind. I think anybody watching knows that. If you don't know that already, you just found a one of a kind, amazing human. And she just brings out the best in everybody, and me included. So I'm just honored to be here on your show and share a little bit of my story. And hopefully the listeners will get something out of it. That I guess it's kind of the hit phrase these days is to be a serial entrepreneur. But, I was doing that before it was really cool. I left corporate America nearly 20 years ago, and the safety and security of that to go out and start my own company. My wife and I have been partnered up in this the whole way through, even partnered with my dad. We have 6 companies that we've started. The last 3 have been multi-million-dollar companies. And really it's not about me as much as it is about just delivering value to the world. And so I like to do it through products I can see, touch, use, and that my customers can experience as often as possible through their day. Because I see that's the way I want to leave my mark in the world, is through innovative products that make people's lives better. And, I still feel like even though it's been 20 years, I feel like I'm just getting started.
So I have to tell everybody how we met. So I was working, and I love this story. Mike, we got to find that video, okay?
Yeah.
But I love the story. So I was working a fitness convention, guys. I was selling my apparel. This guy comes up to me. He says, "Oh, I got something you're going to like. It's really cool, right? Do I actually have it on tonight? That's so cool." So he brings this thing. He puts it on the back of my phone, right? And I'm like, "What is this?" He's like, "It's called a Lovehandle." He said, "Once you use it, you'll never use anything else." And I'm like, "Whatever, dude." So he puts it on my phone. He puts it on my battery pack. And once I held it, I was like, "This is the best thing ever." I was like, "Oh my God, it's the greatest invention ever." I was like, and I'm doing all this stuff with it. I was like, "This is yours?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "And you put my logo on it?" He's like, "Yeah." So I didn't know. I think I knew they were recording, but my reaction was just so genuine. I was like super excited. And the thing I really took away from that experience that really attracted me to Mike was he had a product. He had a product already branded with my information on it, which told me he looked up who I was and what I did before he even came to me and said, "Hey, I got something just for you. Try this." And I thought that, I was like, "Yo, I love your hustle." Like, I was like, "I love your hustle, and we have to be friends." And since that time, we've been friends. We have conversations. We share with each other, both being entrepreneurs and dealing with the day-to-day struggles of that. So I got to tell you, I love what you created. And I think you should talk about the product and I don't even have on my fancy one right now. I have on the Gen 1 right now. But what made you want to create a different phone grip from what was already created? Because this speaks to your innovation and your need for invention. So if you would like to just talk about that for me a little bit.
Yeah, when we started Lovehandle, it was really pretty purposeful. We were trying to find a product that everybody needs. And, this was 2013, 2014. The iPhone 3G was out. The iPhone 4 had just come out. And, the touchscreen phone was a new phenomenon. And all of a sudden we went from pretty durable plastic phones with keypads on them to glass front and glass back phones.
Yep.
And so all of a sudden the issues with dropping and managing the device through your day was quickly becoming something that everyone was having to deal with. And so when we were able to identify this product, and, I didn't invent it, but I'm always on the hunt for something great. And I really believe in partnerships. I think partnerships is really the magic. And so I found the inventor of the Lovehandle, which is the one that Diva was showing, the little simple small one here. And for many years, I thought it was the greatest thing ever. But it's funny because at first the market resisted it. And it wasn't for the reason you might think today, because today everybody's like, what do you have on the back of your phone? Is it a case? Mm-hmm. Is it a grip? Is it a, what type of grip? Is it a wallet? What is going on? A mount? Like, there's a lot of different things. But back then people pushed back and they said, well, why would you put something on the back of your phone? Like this, that was just such a foreign concept. Yeah. So that was actually the first hurdle I had to overcome, is to try to convince people, hey, just try this product. And then you'll see that, like wheels on a suitcase, once you use them, you're never going to want to not have a suitcase without wheels. Like, so we kept innovating. And then, for years that, and that story that you gave was I think a good example about, how to, not just how to take your product to market, but how do you maximize your time? Right. So that fitness expo, I went there to that show. I had a booth at that show, but I didn't limit it there. We took weeks, months really ahead of time, looked at every single vendor. I had my team download their logo, go find we didn't email, we just found their logo, put it on a few samples because we wanted them to buy promotional products from us. So we walked around aisles up and we took suitcases full of stuff that was already custom made for everybody from Red Bull in there to, to you, Diva, and there's nothing more powerful than walking up to someone and offering them something personalized, whether it's like we all get a Christmas card or whatever, like it's something personal. It means so much more, right? It's not just a salesperson, like they took the time too. And so that was really important. I think finding success is just getting out there hustling and then overcoming it. And so for us to start a product-based company around accessories in general, first starting with the grip and then listening to our customers, it helped us to develop what is now, I think, the world's greatest smartphone grip. And that's the Lovehandle Pro. It's got an integrated kickstand, which everybody wanted a kickstand. So now you can prop your phone up wherever you go. It works both ways. This is a Netflix and chill mode, sideways. And it's also magnetic, so I can stick it to the side of my toolbox or gym equipment, and it just sticks. And that's pretty handy. And then you can swap the straps and wash them and keep them fresh. These are all things our customers asked from us. And did I think that when I started the company, I'm going to create a kickstand and a magnet and now a mounting system and soon to be, wallets and all kinds of, MagSafe compatible. MagSafe, what do you think? Like, it's just a journey that you take and you try to initially start with value to your customer and then continue to grow that and just see where the path takes you.
I love the product. And so Mike he's a great guy. He's always sending me, oh, Diva, we'll send you one. We did a collab together. Like, we've done stuff. So I broke my Pro because I just break things. I break everything. So I snapped it being reckless one day. I put on my old one and ordered a new Pro. And I just told him, I was like, I ordered a new Pro. And he was like, why did you do that? I'm like, dude, you still got a business. I just ordered it. I wasn't going to text you like, yo, can you hook me up with a Pro? I can order it. So I ordered it. But I wanted to talk about teams and team building, because one of the things that was really cool was I didn't even realize it was a long weekend, whatever. And I'm like, dang, I paid for extra shipping. It's not here yet. And I emailed your team today. Nope, they don't know nobody knows me. They don't know we're friends. And I was like, hey, where is it? And this is where it is. It's on the way. It was a holiday weekend, blah, blah, blah. Like, the follow-up was amazing. You have an amazing team. Like, how do you build an amazing team? Because, that's something I talk about a lot, and we've talked about a lot.
Right.
Like, how do you get to the point where you get your team solid?
Well, there's no silver bullet, I can tell you. And it depends. I think the first step that you need to understand is, who are you as a company, right? Like, what's important to you? What's the most important thing to you? And so basically boil down your core values. And for us, customer service is at the absolute center of that. We want to surprise and delight and go above and beyond for our customers. We want to turn our customers into super fans. Really, you only need about 100 or so super fans out there to build a very sizable brand. And the only way you get a super fan is not just having a great product, but you need some additional level of interaction. And, you know, people see like a problem comes in on an email as a problem, but we don't. We see that as an opportunity to show our customer who we are, right?
Yeah.
And so putting the right people that are naturally inclined to be service-minded in that role, Brooke, who I'm sure probably answered your email today, she's just a sweetheart by nature. She cares about other people by nature. And so matching up the right person with the right role is the ideal setup. Now, that said, we have other roles in this organization, you know, maybe in manufacturing or, you know, in the sales team that she may or may not be a good fit for, right? Because not everybody's a good fit for every role.
I agree.
So, you know, you learn about the right people on your team. All the right people on your team need to have the same basic set of core values. And so everybody kind of moves in and paddles in the right direction, keeps the ship moving. But then understanding, you know, like you could take, you know, Aaron Rodgers and make him a wide receiver and he's going to be terrible. He's not going to be any good, right? Awful, right? But as a quarterback, he's fantastic. He's a great quarterback. So it's just like that in a company. You've got people that play roles based on their God-given skills and abilities or experiences even, but more I think about their ability. And you try to align those strengths that they naturally have with the goals and achievements that you want out of that role. And if you can do that, and then again, have everyone focused on where the boat's headed, how we're going to get there, you know, and then as the leader, you become more of an encourager. And, you know, just to somebody to cast the vision and say, look at this big win that we had over here. And boy, I really appreciate your customer service, which I'll be definitely telling Brooke about tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That, you know, that feeds them way more than a paycheck ever could. Because now they have value. They see that they're part of something bigger than themselves. And they want to win, just like me and you want to win. So they want the company to succeed and we can all win together. But, you know, and they also have to understand that they're going to have to lean on other people. So communication is important. But I think the biggest thing to think about is to put the right people in the right roles based on their natural skill.
I agree. That's, you know, I actually just shot some content and I did a video and I said, there's 3 things I wish I had known more of before I started a business. I was like, 1, how much energy I was going to have to put into hiring. 2, team building, how much work and effort goes into building your team and making sure everybody knows their job set and skill and getting them on the same page. And then the 3rd thing was firing. And speaking of that, I remember you had to do some layoffs. I know I had to do a lot of cutbacks too, post-pandemic. Mm-hmm. And it's not as easy as people think.
No.
You know, like I felt like when you got a crappy employee, I mean, you got a crappy employee. All right, it's fairly easy. Then it's hard legally usually, but you know, they're the ones who are like, I'm gonna sue you. But you know, post-pandemic, you know, I had to make adjustments. I know you had to make some adjustments, and I remember you posted. You was like, "This sucks. This is the part that sucks," and I felt that, man. I even reached out to you. I'm like,
yeah, you did. Yeah, it's hard. It's because you can't. It's always personal.
Yep.
This is it. We're all humans, right? So it's innately personal, and so you know, and it's easy for us, right, as the pioneers or the visionaries to just see the best in people, right? And that's what you normally see early. You just see potential. Yep. You see, you know, you see all that they could be. And it's not always about the person. And then it kind of comes back to what we were saying earlier. It might just not be the right fit for the organization. Yeah. Their skills and abilities and experience and their, you know, abilities don't match with what the company needs today. Mm-hmm. And what I was going through there was very much that, you know, we had some people, one in particular that had been with us been with me for a very, very long time. And, sometimes it's a numbers game. Sometimes you really do want to keep the person, but the business just can't support them, right? And those two paths have to diverge in spite of the value that they can bring. And you have to just find a way to live without them. But I think that if I had any advice for people on the firing side, it's just to just communicate and just be as honest as you can be with them. You don't want to necessarily say too much, like you said, with that, but just be honest and help them understand where you're coming from and that you care, that this is not easy on you. I was looking back over, I think we have 24 people here now, but we've got on our time clock, we've got a number for every person, right? And now we just crossed over 100. So I've had over 100 employees here, but now we have 24, right? So numbers, you can do the math there and figure out how many times we've had to let people go. And every single one of those is difficult. But it's also, looking back, nearly all the people are better off for it. We still have good relationships with them.
Yeah.
A lot of them have gone on to start their own businesses. And one of my goals that I read every morning and I pray for is that this is a place where people are learning and developing themselves. I want to create an organization that is, as much an education for people as it is income, in a place that they can build confidence, that they can feel, open to grow. All of my leaders here, well, all of them except one, started at the very bottom, started as entry-level positions and worked their way up and to become leaders of this company.
Yeah.
And that I'm really proud of that. But it's not everybody's going to make it. And it's always hard to let people go.
No, of course. So let's get into the best thing that never happened. So, but still weirdly happened. It still weirdly happened. So I love talking about this because it reminds me of a story that The Rock says. He says all the time, he's like, the NFL is the best thing that never happened to him. So let's talk about it. Shark Tank. The best thing that never happened to you, but still weirdly happened to you. So please share your Shark Tank story with the people. I love this story. It's great. Go. I'm here. I just like listening to the story.
Well, all the people around the world that love Shark Tank, raise your hand right now, because it's
my God,
the best show ever made, and I love it because it just inspires belief. Like anytime you hear a real story from someone that has taken their idea and made something out of it, and next thing you know, they're in front of these millionaires and billionaires and making deals, and it's like, wow, they just created that out of nothing. And I think that just gushes hope to everyone watching out there. I hope it does. And it definitely did to me. And so being I just live and breathe entrepreneurship. I said, man, I'm going to be on this show and I'm going to do a deal with a shark. And so we auditioned for Shark Tank in Las Vegas, and that would have been 2017. And we auditioned for Shark Tank then, and we actually made it through the first round of auditions, and they put us into the second round, and then we had to fill out the application, and we're feeling pretty good because if you get through the second round, the third round is in LA, because not everybody actually makes it on set, and then not all the ones filmed make it on TV, but felt like we were really close. And this was for the Lovehandle. And we had sales, and we had customers, and I felt like we had a cool product, but they told us no. And it was a very, very hard time for me because I don't know, I'm big about manifesting things and just willing myself. But I think that, as it turns out, God had a better plan for me because it was one of these things that we got rejection and we just went back and got back to work and said, well, maybe next time. So then the next year came around and we auditioned again.
Right.
Like, this is it. We have more sales. Mr. Wonderful's not going to tell me to take me out behind the barn and shoot me or crush me like the cockroach that I am. He's going to be impressed with my sales and all this growth that we have, and because we did have it. And then they made it to the second round again, and then they turned us down, rejection letter once again. And if I'm being honest, I was pretty sad about it. It was, wasn't the way it was supposed to go in my mind, right? But as you alluded to, things worked out a different way. It was just a few months later that I was monitoring my website for orders, and I'm just always in there. I like to talk to my customers. I'm still connected to the helpline and everything, so I just enjoy that. Well, I was in there looking at the orders, and I saw an order come through for the Shark Group, and I sounded like Shark Tank. I was like, Shark Tank just ordered, but it turns out that is Damon John's company, my dream shark. His company was ordering product from my company. And I was like, hallelujah, this is amazing. And so my very first step, I saw the order and I looked and I was like, sure enough, there's a phone number on there. I was like, look at that. I got Damon John's phone number. I took the phone, I started calling. And I called up and I answered. I said, hi, this is Mike Watts. Y'all just placed an order here with Lovehandle. And I see that this is Damon John's company. I'm a big fan. I'd love to speak to him. And then when they got done laughing at me that, you can't talk to him. I did build a relationship with Simone there, who was a lovely young lady. And then started sending product to the office. And next thing you know, I got everybody else in the office to kind of fall in love with it. It wasn't long before everybody there loved the product, loved me. And well, they knew me. They grew to love me over time. But the end of it is that Damon and his team called me and said, hey, we don't do this, but we love your story. We love your product. And, Damon's got deals coming out his ears, but he wants to do a deal with you. And so we worked out the deal. And so we were able to make a deal direct off the tank. So my success wasn't because of Shark Tank per se. Like I still made a deal with a shark. Yep. And the cool thing about it is that now, because he approached me, like we're not going to have that sort of truly business. Like it's not just about business. It's really as friends first. And so I've built an amazing friendship. Today's his birthday. So happy birthday, Damon.
Happy birthday, Dame. You next.
Yeah.
Next, brother. I will be reaching out. You're next.
Yeah, next on the show, Damon John. We're going to manifest that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But he's an amazing guy. And so I'm just so blessed to get to have someone in my life like that is a true friend. He's just the nicest, most genuine, hardworking, humble person you could ever meet. And, we go fishing and everything like that. But he has helped me so much in little ways and in big ways in business. But it's a dream come true. And like you said, like Rock said, it was the best thing that ever happened to me was going on Shark Tank, because now I don't walk in the front. I walk in backstage. So
yeah. Yo, I love that story, bro. I really do. I love that story. And I'm glad you had that opportunity. And speaking about manifesting, I just think it's really awesome. I don't know if people really understand the power of that. Like, there are things I still manifest on a daily, and it's weird. I see them forming on the horizon. They're starting to come together, but it really is a part of, I think, what helps me keep going and keep achieving the success I want. And I know, and just listening to your story, it's the same for you. So when it comes to manifesting, like, do you have a daily practice? Because I think a lot of people don't realize how big a part consistency plays into just everything when you're talking about running a business. Like, what you as an owner do daily really does affect your business. I try to express this to people I work with in my coaching service. Like, you don't understand when shit hits the fan, there is something you missed a long time ago. Like, it's right. You. It's always you. So what do you do to center yourself daily?
Well, Diva, it's one of these things. You're right. You need to prepare yourself to lead, right? If you're not ready to lead, if you're not in a solid place yourself, then you can't lead others. You don't have a strong place to stand on. And for me, a lot of that just starts in the morning each day. So, I try to have a bit of a routine in the morning, and I go through times, where I'm good about my routine. And there's times where I, ebb and flow away from it. But pretty consistently, I get up in the morning and, I try to exercise. I, I have prayer, I meditate, and then, I'm looking over, I have a Bible study, then I'm looking over my goals. I have short-term goals, long-term goals, and then, I'll go down and write just 3 things ideally that I want to get done that day. When my head is clear before the chaos of the day and the inbox and the notifications and everything hit, I can set my agenda for the day. So these are the things I need to get done today. And if I do that, then we're going to count it as a win. And if you write those things down, it's so powerful. I think people underestimate the power of their words, and they underestimate the power of the written word, and that counts. Putting notes in your phone, but handwrite things too, that you can manifest things that way. Like if you just, because it just sends a signal to your subconscious that this is important to me. You can then visualize getting it done, and that's great. And then when it relates to leading a company, at that point, I think that we all just need, and I'm learning, but I've learned, especially recently, that the best way that you can lead is as a servant leader. You get in there and you listen and try to, it just takes a minute with each person. If you can spend a minute with each person, so for me, 25, 30 minutes a day, I can go around and have a quick conversation with people, let them know that I know something going on in their life, or if I don't know something, ask them, not just the superficial questions, but like, what'd you do this weekend? Why'd you do that? And then a third question, like, how did you like it?
Yeah.
And let people share a little bit of themselves. And if you really want to inspire people, get them to share their dreams with you. What do they aspire to do and to become? And then if you understand that and they know you understand that, then you can connect that to the company and say, hey, I think the company can help you achieve your dreams through these steps. I mean, genuinely, not super, like you really do make those connections. And then next thing you know, they're going to hit another gear. And next thing you know, they're going to have more enthusiasm. They're going to be, getting up in the morning and a lot more excited about coming to work because they can see that connection to their goals.
Yes.
And so that's kind of my routine. And, I have a midday routine where I've started napping. I don't know if it's because I'm getting a little older in my day, but I just found like a 17-minute nap really gives me a whole new life and after lunch. So that's some of my routine.
I like the nap. Yo, you know what's funny? I've been napping too. It's wild. So there was a point in my life where I used to nap all the time, like middle of the day all the time. And I got away from it. Like my day worked out, I got away from it. Now I get up I'm up at like 3:10. I'm working out at 3:30 in the morning. Wow. I'm in the office by it's insane right now. Thank you, pandemic. In the office by 5:30. Like by 1:00, yeah, I'm kind of needing that nap. I need like 30 minutes, or I'm trash. I'm not gonna lie. If I don't get that 30 minutes, I'm learning I'm trash. So this week I made it a priority.
It's so important to listen to your body. Because I mean, and all of us have peak time today. Actually, I'm at office. It's really not abnormal. My wife's probably still over in the influencer room right now because we just operate better later. And like a 9 to noon, and then like a 3 to 7, 3 to 8. That's my strength. But everybody's different. And just listen to your body and it'll tell you when you're going to be peak. So align the peak performance with your main goals and objectives you want to achieve, and then you'll find more success each day.
Yeah. All right. Before we close out, what do you feel is the best piece of business advice you received? Something that really resonated with you? I know that's.
I would say that if you never quit, then you're guaranteed to succeed.
I'm going to sit on that for a second. If you never quit, you're guaranteed to succeed. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the idea, like, as long as you're willing to stay in the game, then there is no failure. There's only learning, right? And you're just going to get better. And eventually, if you keep throwing that ball for the end zone, eventually you're going to score a touchdown. It's only the people that give up and allow themselves to compromise that won't find success. Otherwise, it's essentially guaranteed if you're willing to stay the course.
I like that. I like that. Yo, Mike, I told you I ain't gonna keep you long. One, because I gotta get up at a godly hour, and yo, man, I gotta travel this weekend. I gotta do a
30 minutes from now.
I'm gonna be like, look, I'm falling out the camera. Anyway, yo, Mike, I want to thank you again for coming on tonight. You are amazing, guys. If you haven't, make sure to follow him on Instagram, LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn tonight. So if you're on LinkedIn, you can reach out. His name is Mike Watts. You can always see him on Instagram at Mike Watts and his company Lovehandle. Okay. At Lovehandle. So Mike, thank you again. I'm going to close this out, and I am coming to Houston in April.
I can't wait to see you, Diva. It's been a real pleasure. It's always good to talk to you. Virtually and especially in person. I can't wait to see you in person next month.
You got it, brother. All right. Take care, Mike.
Thanks so much. See ya.
All right, family. I thank you guys again for tuning in tonight to the Do Work podcast. My guest was Mike Watts. If you haven't, make sure to follow him on all social media handles at Mike Watts and his company, The Lovehandle. All right. So with that being said, I'm done. I'm Diva Richards. This was the Do Work podcast. And you know the saying, nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes unless you do the work. Let's go.